Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Let's get you out of here, Buzz.
Don't you get it? You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit. Snap out of it, Buzz.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
Taking my life, Usul. It is the only way.
I'm pointing the way.
I've really got to get you out of those clothes
Excuse me?
and into a black dress. Tell me, Doctor, do you like the circus?
Welcome to Monogamy is the Only Way, a podcast where we talk about movies that are and just the one movie at a time. I don't know. It was kind of off the dome there. Welcome to Get a Load of This Movie, a franchise movie podcast where we talk about movies that are a part of a franchise. That means 3 movies or more, and today we have a very, very special episode. A very special episode. We are covering a franchise, but we are covering it in a very interesting way because you may have noticed this is not our usual schedule. Cole, did you know what today is?
Thursday.
When this is releasing.
Friday the...
It is Friday the 13th, and so we are covering the 1980 Friday the 13th. Very, very excited. And we'll be doing...
so confident about 80, and then you go 80s.
Yeah, I kind of added it in there. That's why I'm cheating on you guys with another podcast. But we are doing the Friday the 13th. We're doing 3 of them because guess what? There are 3 Friday the 13ths this year. You know, it's just like we prayed to God and God heard us, and so He blessed us with 2026 and gave us 3 Friday the 13ths so we could franchise it. So look forward to it. I'm excited. I am actually very interested in talking about this one, but before we get into it, Cole, did you have something?
I thought we were going to talk about it at the end of the episode.
I think we should talk about the end of the episode. I think I think we should avoid the time stamping at the opening of episodes. You could hear it in his tone, though. He was ready to just get real sad, though.
Yeah.
Sorry to have to edge your Cole sadness there. I think a good intro, since we are talking about Friday the 13th, I'm Zach, by the way. I think a good opening question is, I know Cole's answer, because Cole and I have a similar answer. But Corey,
what?
Have you ever gone to summer camp?
Let me tell you, I went to summer camp every single year for years.
Yeah, you were a Boy Scout.
I'm an Eagle Scout.
Get it right.
So I would
Cub
go to
Scout,
summer camp
yeah.
all the time. And you know what? When I was watching this movie, I was thinking, we really missed our chance to be like teenage counselors of a summer camp. Like that would have been awesome if we were all like camp counselors for a summer. That would have been so much fun. Instead of working on a stupid golf course, we were just all singing around a campfire. Zach and I making goo-goo eyes at each other as I'm
to say, do we get up and we would just silently, wordlessly get up and go upstairs?
We silently get up, hold hands, and walk away from the group.
Where are you guys going?
I did write it
on
down.
the
That
other
was
side.
oddly romantic.
Yeah, you guys, where are you going?
It was a
But
song
wait-
change. It was a natural time to get up and leave for them.
So, did you guys go to summer camp, or is this?
Yeah.
You guys have a similar answer because it's a no.
Zach and I went to the same summer camp. I believe he went twice. I went once. Is that correct?
Yes, I went. The first year I went with just his brother, and then the next year all 3 of us went.
Was this in a forest?
There's forest around for certain.
Oh my gosh.
It also
was
had
this in
a
parking
swimming
lot?
pool and a lake with canoes,
my gosh.
basketball courts, a mess hall. It was a pretty wide estate of land there. Now that I'm picturing it in my head.
A real summer camp. Okay.
Yeah, we were there for a week though. It wasn't like a summer long thing. We were there for a week.
Mine was only there for a week too. We would get a random week. It was like a lottery system. You would submit the year before to go the next year, and they would pick a random week.
Wow, was that high of demand?
Yeah, it was always packed, man. They had hundreds of kids there every single week.
A pretty good turnout. Yeah, it was not like a small little group at Camp Wartburg, I believe it was called.
Yeah, but the thing was they separated into groups, and we picked sports camp. But the year I went, there were 6 of us, I think.
At sports camp?
Yeah, 6 of us in this cabin.
Was it only that little? Well, 6 of us. Here's the thing. we were in the boys' cabin. There was also girls that were included in the activities. Different cabin.
That was your year. We didn't have a big turnout my year.
Oh,
That sucks.
man, that first year, a lot of fun.
Became a man. No, it was. I always enjoyed summer camp.
It's cool, and I like what you said about how we missed that opportunity, Corey, because I'll have more on that later, because I do think that this movie kind of captures that optimism at the beginning of what you think is going to be like maybe like the most fun summer of your life with your friends.
This is going to be the best summer ever.
And I think there's a bit of sadness there with, with the way it plays out. Cole and I's summer camp experience, there was, a big part of Friday the 13th is the counselors weren't paying any attention. They were distracted. And that's why little old Jason drowned all those years ago. Cole, was it the year that you were there where
Duke was his camp name?
That was his camp name. Yeah, we don't know his real name, so we can out his camp name. His camp name was Duke, the counselor, who was like, I have to go at night. He's like, I have to go. There's a counselor meeting on the basketball courts back here. So no campers, but if there's an emergency, that's where I'm at. But don't come out there. And I think I could see through the tinted window in the darkness. I'm like, there's only 2 of them out there.
Met up with a female counselor whose camp nickname was Bam Bam.
Yeah,
Bam Bam. But we had a guy in our cabin who's like, what's going on? And he shined his flashlight.
I don't want to laugh about that aspect because this kid there's more going on there than on the surface, I think, with him. But he had a bit of a meltdown.
Very well. I am pretty lost on what's going on in this story.
This kid,
I'm not exactly sure.
Our counselor left to go have relations of some sort behind the cabin, and I think I brought it up as, haha, isn't this funny? Isn't this funny? There's only 2 of them out there. And I don't know if that led to the meltdown from the other kid or if it was regarded as something else. This other kid was he left the cabin to like almost go get him or something. And we're like, oh, no, oh, don't do that. No, like, and I remember it being a bit of a situation. That's how I recall it. Yeah.
I recall it as he shined a light. We had a...
Who shined a light? We're using pronouns when I don't know who we're talking about here.
I don't remember the kid's name.
So the kid shined light.
Yeah.
Long story short.
This kid shined a light, and then the junior counselor gave him a shellacking like no other.
He touched this kid?
No.
I think we need to move right along.
I'm so lost. You guys are not good storytellers.
The main part of the story, the reason I brought it up is that, yes, our counselor was not paying any attention, and there was a meltdown because of it from the weird kid. I shouldn't use the term weird kid, but from the kid that was different from us.
It's even worse than weird kid.
That's worse.
And then did he go out there? Did he go out there and like actually get this guy?
After
I remember he got outside. He got out. He got outside, and
I don't remember that part.
I have an image of him on the porch, like on alert.
Did he go and get Duke and bring him back?
I think Duke did come around the corner and looked very like, what's going on? What's going on here? Because it was a loud situation. Again,
people were yelling.
I think there was loud hushed whispers at the very least. Like, stop, where are you going? Like some of those.
They can see you.
Yeah, exactly. I want to stop talking about it.
You brought it up.
I know, but I didn't see it becoming a big point of contention of how it really went down, the logistics of it. But
it was.
Long story short, counselors get distracted too. I remember. It's like, oh, Cole's still stuck in the high ropes course because the counselor was off with another female counselor or something. It wasn't anything like that. I wish that was the story. That'd been funny. No, it was just, yeah. That was my opening prompt, just the summer camp of it all, because I do think it's a great setting for this type of movie, and it kind of coined it. Like there's, we talked about the Fear Street, 1978, obviously aping this.
I was gonna say inspired by this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably more so its sequels than this one, but yeah.
When did the first Halloween come out?
78.
Oh, okay.
This is 80.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously these are in direct conversation with each other as well. This is a blatant ripoff of that. And that's not me saying that. That is a direct quote from the guy who made it. It said, I was trying to make a lot of money And I was like, Halloween's making a lot of money. And apparently what he said to the writer is, quote unquote, Halloween's making a lot of money. Let's go rip it off. And it's like, mission success. Like, they made a lot of money. Like 12 movies later, like, yeah, he's fine. He's doing fine.
There are a few other movies that I like, more recent movies that I'm like, I wonder if that is a reference to Friday the 13th now seeing it. But we could talk about that more in the action. Until then, the call sheet.
Hello. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game. There is only one key to open the device. It's in the stomach of your dead cellmate. You better hurry up. Live or die. Make your choice.
I am stepping away here. Zach was upset that he has not gotten a win so far in 2025.
Don't say that.
Cole is leading 2-0, and I will tell you this right off the bat. I am horrible at trivia, and so I am assuming Cole is about to go up 3-0 on Zach, and I am going to be on the board at 0 as well.
I will say Cole has a slight advantage here for sure. Because I have a feeling Cole, while not having watched... Let me just explain the game, and then that'll become clear why.
Yeah.
So this is Friday the 13th we're talking about today, which does not feature Jason until the end of the movie, and not even as how we would come to know him as a big hulking killer with a hockey mask. But the series as a whole is about Jason. And then we have Halloween with Michael Myers, Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. These are known as like the big three horror franchise, like villains. So we're going to play a game. Corey likes to play, who said that? We're going to play a game called Who Killed That? And
okay.
Ideally, these aren't movies that Cole has seen. Cole has maybe seen, because I did not include, well, I guess I did kind of include some from the originals here, which I know, Corey, you haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street, but,
yes,
you've seen a Halloween, and you've seen this, like, either.
I've seen Nightmare.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Nightmare, yes.
All right, so I'm going to read what happened to a victim, and you will text me either Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, or Jason. You can just Freddy, Michael, Jason. Don't need a full name.
Michael, Jason.
Freddy, Michael, Jason. Jason, Michael, Freddy.
And since we're talking about Friday the 13th here, I have 13 of them here. And then a tiebreaker. Tiebreaker questions at the end.
So we're texting you these.
You are texting me these answers, okay? And I have my handy-dandy score sheet, so I will be keeping track as I go, just giving a little dash for each one you guys get right.
Okay.
Zach's gotten really into grading recently.
So,
grading.
I do have a question. You said you're avoiding the originals.
No, I didn't mean that. I did not. I will tell you this. I did not use any from the new Halloween trilogy. So, like, I avoided ones that we had, like, there, but that really, not for any particular reason. I just wanted to keep it to the older entries.
Okay. So, like, Friday the 13th Part 2 is
very much in play.
Very much in play. But Friday the...
Jason didn't kill anyone Friday the 13th. So it wouldn't
Right, because it's Jason, Freddy,
right. Yeah.
Michael.
Did you watch
the first Halloween, very much in play. So the first Nightmare on Elm Street, very much in play.
Right. Okay.
Right. Yes. Yeah. We're gonna get started here.
But we'll cut that out.
Yeah. That was a lot of housekeeping. All right. Number 1. Who strangled a girl with a phone wire? Okay. I have answers from both of you.
Yeah.
Number 2. Who slammed a girl in a sleeping bag against a tree?
Insane.
He knows.
Number 3. Who hanged a boy with his bed sheets?
Hung boy.
I'm not feeling very confident so far.
I'm actually pretty confident Colt's hanged. When you're talking specifically about hanging,
the action of hanging,
like someone who got like hanged, like an execution, I'm pretty sure it's hanged. Hung is like if you just hung something up to dry,
like you are being right now.
Number 4. Who shoved a girl into a TV set?
Come on, I don't know.
Well, ideally, you have a 1 in 3 chance in your guess.
I know, that's the only thing I'm banking on right now. I honestly should just go same person for every. It's like only guess C.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, number 5. Who drained a woman's blood with a severed IV line? As in, like, the IV is in her arm, and he cut the other part of it out, so all the blood just drains out of her. Onto the floor. Big old puddle.
I am not feeling confident about any of these.
I wasn't confident about this one.
Number 6. Who threw a girl into a lit furnace? Who killed that?
Who killed that? I'm kind of just, I don't know. I haven't guessed this one in a while, so that's why I put that one.
Number 7. Who impales a boy's hand with a corkscrew?
Oh no, Cole. Zach's about to fall off.
Fuck.
That's why I was saying Cole. I was just saying Zach's gone.
He's still here.
You are not. How many points do you think you have?
I'd say about 5.
I'm thinking I have maybe 2.
Have you been going with your steady method of no?
Just shooting from the hip. Whatever I feel like.
Shoot to kill, baby.
I've seen all of them besides Jason kill. Because I've only seen this Friday the 13th. So the way I've been going about it is like, I know Michael Myers style. Jeez. I know Freddy's style somewhat. And then if it doesn't match either of their styles, I go Jason.
See, that's a fair thing.
But Freddy's style could have changed drastically from the first to the second one. But I feel like I have a good lock on how Michael kills people.
Yeah. Michael, I think I might have gotten the last one wrong.
What'd you put?
It's Helen.
I already submitted for it. I can't change my answer.
I put Michael.
I did too.
The corkscrew definitely brings home the whole in the suburbs vibe of it all, which screams Michael.
I was thinking the cleaver was the part that screamed Michael.
Holly. That is a tasty burger.
What I would give to have a burger.
Dude, I think about a good cheeseburger at least once a week.
Hey, who impales a girl with a
Does it say
shotgun?
he's reconnecting on your end.
Doesn't
too?
shoot her.
No, I see
Impales her
Okay.
with it. Okay. Number 9. Who pins a man to a fuse box, exploding his head?
Who did
He
you
just
put?
can't. He can't be trusted.
I don't know why he all of a sudden has. It's like recently.
Yeah, his internet's been so good. I think it's the spot that he's at in his apartment.
I thought he just turned his desk.
Well, I thought he moved out into like a different spot in his apartment.
Text him to go sit closer to the router.
Dude, Devil Wears Prada trailer drops tonight.
Never seen Devil Wears Prada.
First one, it's amazing.
Not every movie can be.
It's Meryl and Annie Hathaway. Now don't tell me you're not a fan of Anne Hathaway, Corey.
She doesn't really do anything for me.
Why'd you have to say it like that?
You know, acting-wise, I don't really get too much out of her performances. Dirty boy. He said, I don't think it's my internet. It's my laptop, I believe. And I said, go buy a new one.
Bet he loved that.
So you know that I said it could be that there's too much stored on his laptop. Because that's what was happening to you for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, let me purge some stuff really quick. Do you know the story of Zach and I's Words with Friends feud?
I remember something vaguely about it, but I don't remember the whole story.
Words with Friends was huge at the school, at high school, because we could play it on our iPads, and the teachers didn't really care about that one because it was like, oh, it's like a puzzle game, you know, and it's like, how can you get mad at Scrabble, basically, and it doesn't take too much attention. It's not like nothingness. And so we started playing it, and Zach loved it. He had like 20 games going on with people, and I only had like a few with him. I can't remember who else. Probably Logan. Anyway, I wasn't very good at knowing words. And so I'd always I need like a little bit of help. And so I found out that there's this app that you can screenshot your Words with Friends board, and it will give you suggestions on words to play.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome. And so I started doing that, and I would score like 30 points every single round or something like that. And then Zach was just blown away. He was just like, Corey is so smart. And then one day he asked to use my iPad, and I said, oh yeah, sure. For something random, like school related, whatever. And so I handed it to him, and I don't know why, but he went into my photos, and he went into my deleted photos, and he saw all the deleted screenshots and knew exactly what I was doing. And he was like, it was big. And he started yelling. He was like, this is such a, just, I can no longer trust you. You know, and it's like, and you know this is bad because you've been deleting them all.
You know what's funny about him saying he can no longer trust you? Why was he going into your deleted photos?
I think he had an inkling. I think he was testing a theory out. I think he had a feeling that's what was going on because he knew from conversations with me I was not the brightest bulb in the box, you know? And so he was like, there's no way that he knows this word or can just play a word, like a 30-point word with a Z in the middle of it randomly. Like, he's got to have some help. And so I think he thought either I was cheating with an app or someone was helping me. Like, I would send it to my mom or something like that, or ask my mom or ask someone. But ever since then, he doesn't want to play.
Fair.
And now the New York Times came out with their own version.
You know it's bad because you've been deleting them. So I think when Zach gets back on, we should act like we've been talking about the Epstein files for 20 minutes and ask him who his biggest shock celebrity is.
Okay, I got a good opening line.
Because Jamie Foxx is in there.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Apparently they got him. It's gonna it's gonna destroy the internet.
What do you mean it's going to? They're already out.
Yeah, but they're heavily redacted.
I mean, it's not going to be less redacted in a month. I'm thinking about getting new headphones that are like Princess Leia ears.
I would love that. Like the buns. Talking about like the buns.
Mm-hmm.
That would look good.
Maybe I should just get I could buy covers, Princess Leia covers, and then I can turn them I could turn my headphones like this.
Yes. I love that.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
You're my only hope. You know what? I might give that a rewatch tonight.
I'm not there yet. Just can't quite do it yet.
I just can't.
Guess what I did? Oh, I gotta mark it. I got this calendar while in Japan for 2026, and it's supposed to be you fill in a dot for every day that you feel like you seized the day. This is January.
So you've seized Hey, I'm seeing 5 days seized.
There was one other one at the very end that I forgot, but I was like, I seized that day. But today, I feel like I already seized the day. Gosh, we might not be able to record this episode today.
Why?
Zach said my laptop literally may be dying right now, like in front of me. What's it doing? So I did 6 days. He said it's back. So I did 6 days last month. I'm just going to fill in the 28th. I don't remember what day it was. And today, I seized it. I went to a coffee shop to work, and that's not good. And I was eavesdropping on other people's conversations. And I was like, that is definitely day seized. I learned a lot.
God. Want to hear something funny? I got an email from a client, and I scheduled it to be sent Monday. Or I thought I did. And then I checked my inbox because I always like to be like, okay, what am I going to have to deal with when Monday comes around? Did not schedule it for Monday. Scheduled it for 8 a.m. today.
So you already sent it. That's not bad, though.
Yeah. It was just me saying, I'll get something. Thanks for submitting this to Bill.com. I'll get this paid in the next payment cycle.
Hey, that's one less thing to worry about.
That is, yeah.
I'm up for a job working at a company that's very similar to the charity CFO.
Yeah.
100% remote. And I wouldn't be doing much of the bookkeeping stuff. The position is more client focused. And so I would be doing a lot of the presentations, the financial presentations to clients.
That sounds dope.
So I'm kind of hoping I get that. Because if I'm just doing 50%, like the bookkeeping stuff was fine, but it got very repetitive, you know? And if I'm only doing that like half the time and the other half I'm like explaining it, I'm like, okay, maybe I could do that. I'm trying to get out of my current job so bad.
Sometimes you just gotta go.
But I feel really bad because I'm the only one left besides the executive director.
You're the only one that stayed through the mass exodus.
And I'm about to create another mass exodus because 50% of the company quit not too long ago, and now it's just two of us, so another 50% is about to quit.
Wait, so there were 4 of you? That's insane. This is a governmental organization.
Nope, it's not. We're not a government organization. We're a nonprofit.
National?
What's your guys' minimum monthly these days?
Shit, it keeps going up because they scope everyone in for client meetings. I feel like it's $4,000.
Shit, that's too high. I was going to say on my way out, I have been making videos explaining how to use our accounting system. Have you ever heard of Uninet?
No.
Exactly. So I've been making videos explaining how to use it, and I was going to recommend to him on my way out, like, hey, you should use Charity CFO. They do good work. I worked there, really like the people. I've set them, like I've made all these videos, so it should be very easy for them to kind of take up and pick up where I left off, and they're going to produce high quality stuff. But I thought it was like $2,750 or $3,000 a month, and I was like, for that much he could probably do it, but anymore it's like probably not.
I mean, that's all depending on what Aaron's willing to do at this point. I didn't tell you, Nancy's gone.
What happened to Nancy?
We got one of the messages, just gone.
Effective immediately one?
Yeah.
Oof. That means she was
wasn't
fired.
I think, and I don't want to speculate, but she had to take a lot of time off to care for her ailing father.
And they fired her because of it?
No, that was not the problem. But I guess when she came back, she just wasn't on top of it.
I never really liked Nancy, if I'm being honest.
I don't really like a lot of people.
Gosh, okay.
I don't really like people. Yeah. We got effective today. Carrie's no longer with the company. You didn't know.
Carrie? I was going to say, I don't know Carrie.
You didn't know Mark either.
Wait, did I know Mark?
He was on Teresa's team.
No.
Yeah.
If he was an onboarder, I might have known him, but I'm thinking of someone else.
Lindy sent the message because she always does it at the end of the day.
Well, yeah.
Which is, team, Nancy has departed from her role as of today. So she left.
I was going to say, then she probably left. And she was probably just like, I can't do this anymore.
Which is fair.
Podcast I have after this, if it ever happens. He's on his 3rd episode, I believe. This will be his 3rd episode.
That's awesome.
But the first one I told him to delete because it was bad. But he was like, I want to talk about board games with you. And I was like, fuck yes. And so I have 8 board game ideas that I'm going to pitch to him. And that's going to be the podcast.
And how does Israel get brought up? I don't know.
It's going to happen, though.
I'm out of control today, guys.
No, I will not be. No, I'm not going to be drinking.
I was drinking a little last night when Drew because I had Drew and Hadley. I gave them a tour of the house and hung out with them.
Do they like it or no?
Yeah, they like it. I still got some work to do, but they liked it.
Well, that's good.
It's always good to see them. They're engaged to be married.
Yeah, that's going around these days.
Once he's back in the New York group.
I'm going to look into seeing if there's like something I can download on my computer that like checks to see if there are viruses. And then if so, like,
what you doing on your laptop, bud?
I mean, I was on Red Zone. I was pirating Red Zone every week for the NFL season. Every single week. I was there trying to watch the NFL and give them attention and give them dollars. And they said, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare care about us. We're going to punish you for wanting to. I don't like that business model, so I torrent it. Yeah, I don't know. I've also unplugged my monitor, so I'm just on my laptop. So that's one less thing for my laptop to worry about. I wasn't using the camera this week because I thought that was a problem. I thought things got worse once I started plugging in the webcam thing. So I wasn't using that. I don't know. Hopefully this works. Because here's the thing. It's definitely not my internet. I know that because I've been recording here since June.
I was going to say, you just turned your desk, right?
Yeah, that's all. That's all I do.
Cole and I were talking about that.
I was like, are you in a different spot in your apartment? That's what I thought.
That's why I texted you, move closer to your router, because I was like, maybe
it's definitely not the internet. It is laptop related for sure.
You seem a lot better now, though. The image is coming through clearer.
I almost fucking wonder if my laptop just can't handle having the monitor, which sucks. It's gonna make it a crowded screen. That's okay.
How old is your laptop?
I got this maybe at the latest junior year of undergrad. So I feel like I got it maybe even sophomore year.
So
I don't know.
It's getting there, but it's not quite time to replace
It shouldn't be, yeah. I'm gonna, after this, here's the thing. In terms of things I can clear off my I still have like 30 gigs of storage free.
Okay.
So like, I'm not like 2 gigs away. Like, I shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be that, but there is a big folder, unfortunately, on the storage when I was looking at it that was taking up 30 gigs. Music creation. And I thought, no, I can't.
It's not time. I'm not ready yet.
I haven't given up yet. I don't know when or why, but there's about 10 demos of Big Guy Land songs just sitting there.
They're good.
And they're good is the thing. If they were
They're
garbage,
good.
I would have just been like, all right, it is what it is.
They're better
Big
than
Guy
the album.
Land gonna be a movie too.
Yeah, that script it's got bits. It's got it's got a good bit where you die, Cole. It's a really good bit where you die in it. Yeah, I don't know. So, well, I'll have to figure out what to do there. I think I'll have to figure out a way to move them onto my SD or something off of my laptop onto my like hard drive thing. And maybe that'll do it. But that's a long process, so I was not going to do that today. That would take a while because I would have to redownload that. It's a whole thing. All right, we're going to just pick up where we left off here.
It was the one after the corkscrew. Can you read that one again?
Yes.
Number 9.
I'm pulling up my notes app right here. Lord, no. Doesn't like me doing that, apparently. Okay, there we go. I thought it was out again. All right. Okay. Luckily, I was keeping track with the pencil. Number 8, impales a girl with a shotgun.
Yeah, we got that one.
I know. I wanted to hear it again because I forgot what it was.
Let me see how many have you guys all answered. Let me see. Have you guys answered for all this? 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've answered 8.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I've answered it.
Shut up.
Corey has sent me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good. I do have 8 from you. Well, I'm just gonna have to recount at the end of this because I don't know if I'd already counted Cole right when he sent me this before. All right.
So I'm getting double right is what
I don't know. I'm not gonna mark something for Cole yet. I'll double check Cole's score later, but Corey's score is up to date. I guess that spoils that Cole got that one right. Corey did not get this one right. All right. Number 9 pins a man to a fuse box and explodes his head. Who killed that?
Who killed that?
I think I got this one correct.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Oh, I guess I didn't. Dang it.
Okay. All right. Number 10 tears a boy's heart from his chest.
Boy,
He puts his hand into the boy's chest and rips out his heart.
I would not be surprised if I get 0 points.
I can tell you, you have more than 0.
Yes! I gave Cole my over-under of what I'm expecting, so we'll see if I hit that.
All right.
more.
11 disembowels a man with a tree trimming saw. All right. Number
Say
12
what
drowns a boy in a waterbed.
Stop saying a boy.
I don't like it either.
I don't think they're adults.
Say what you will, minister. The guy's got style.
Number 13 boy and girl both impaled.
Stop saying boy.
Boy and girl impaled mid-coitus with spear.
Now, I have a question. Is it confirmed as coitus in the film, or are you just saying coitus?
No, it's definitely coital in the film. You're watching it happen.
Don't say
What's your question there, Cole? I don't understand. Is it confirmed as coitus? What do you mean by that?
Oh, is the penetration?
No. I just know if we say coitus enough, it's going to
Is it confirmed as coitus? The question itself was uncomfortable to me, I think, actually. All right, I have 13 answers from Cole. 13. I'm gonna have to recheck these answers because the break there did kind of mess with the counting a bit, but I should have made it clear to myself. All right, and then we will do the tiebreaker. But obviously, you guys just get cozy for a second.
I'm cozy. We were kind of gossiping.
Not about you.
No, we were talking about work. I'm in the market for a new job.
Right.
Sorry.
He cares so much about your employment.
Right.
It's like when we give an opinion and Zach's like, Yeah.
You hate us.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Instead of me trying to line it up right now, we're going to go through them, and I'm going to read off what you said, and then I'll make the dashes again as I go, and then we're going to find out.
Nice.
So, it's more fun. I don't even know who won yet, and we're going to find out when we get to the end of checking the answers.
I mean, I'm pretty positive I lost.
See, now you're doing that Cole thing where he gets all down and stuff.
I'm not down.
Try to minimize the emotional smacking after I win, because he's like, I knew he'd win.
I'm not down about it.
Stop it.
It's just when you're reading them,
Emotional smacking.
I'm giving the audience.
You're giving yourself a little too much credit there.
Oh, that's bulletin board material.
I was gonna say,
Bulletin
Cole
board
is
material.
2-0 this season.
I say we count this one if he wins, even though I'm not playing.
I am,
That's how
because
confident
I'm
I
going to
am.
be on the board, and so that's going to reflect poorly on my character.
Right, yeah, you'll just be 0-1. All right,
Oh,
the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker. Which film of these three has the highest letterbox? Which film franchise, I should say, of these three has the highest letterbox average across their films? There are, I want to say, 13 Halloween films, 12 Friday the 13th films, and 9 Nightmare on Elm Street films. Of course, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, in their numbers, share a film with Freddy versus Jason. I counted that, in the numbers for both.
I don't feel very confident about that one.
And then
It's a good
double
question.
tiebreaker. What is?
Do we need it?
Take a guess on the average. Take a guess on the average. You use 2 decimal points. An optimistic guess from Cole. It's a very optimistic guess from Cole, but I like it. I like thinking positively.
4.08.
All right, we're gonna go through these now.
Should we say our answers for you?
Yes. Number 1, strangle the girl with a phone wire. Cole, who did you think it was?
Michael Myers.
Corey, who did you think it was?
I also said Michael.
Wow, we are 1-1. That is, of course, in the first Halloween when he strangles Linda with the phone wire. I wanted to start out with an easy one. Invite you into the game. Say, come on in, the water's warm, is what I wanted that question to be for you.
I guessed.
All right. Yeah, good job. Okay. Number 2, slammed a girl in a sleeping bag against a tree.
Can I change my answer?
No. Cole, what did you say?
I said Jason Voorhees.
Corey, you said Freddy, did you not?
I wanted to change it to Jason just now.
Yeah, but
Now,
the sleep.
now,
See, I tried not to be too
context
cute with it.
clues eluded you here.
I know, but I was also thinking Jason or Freddy has to do with sleeping.
You know what? Okay, you know what? Yeah.
And I thought he was trying to throw us
Zach.
off with a sleeping bag.
No.
He's patronizing you.
No. That's actually not a bad thought. I'm just glad Michael Myers would have been a bit much, but I can see the Freddy angle there. So Cole is up 2-1. All right, number 3, hanged a boy with his bed sheets. There was some disputing whether or not hanged was the right word. I'm very confident it is. Cole, who do you think hanged a boy with his bed sheets?
I think Michael Myers hung a boy with his bed sheets.
That sounds right.
Corey, who did you say?
I said Freddy.
Well, I got great news for you, Corey. It was, of course, Freddy who hanged the boy with his bed sheets. It's Rod in the first Nightmare on Elm Street in the prison cell.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Surely did. And he just let Nancy watch, powerless to stop it. All right. Number 4, shoved a girl into a TV set.
Freddy.
Corey, what'd you say?
I said the ghost from Poltergeist.
No, Corey, it would appear as though Corey also said Freddy. So you guys both got that one. No, you said Freddy on your number. Oh, wait.
Number 4.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was looking at the wrong set of answers. Good job, Corey. Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
Cole was correct, though. It was Freddy in Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Haven't seen it.
Well, I think you'd like that one. Well, now you know when you see a girl watching TV, you should be on extreme edge for that moment. Okay. Number 5, drained a woman's blood with a severed IV line.
Don't feel confident about this one, but I'm going to say Freddy.
I said Michael. I also
It was Michael in Halloween 2.
The over-under was 2. I thought it was going to be around 2, but I got 3.
All right, no, you guys are tied right now, by the way. It's 3 apiece.
Good
through
job,
the first
Corey.
6 questions.
Well
Ooh,
done.
you see,
There's only 3
did
options.
you pick up on
so
that
it's-
read there? Did you pick up on that read there?
Yeah, I did. But I'll take it. I'll get a sincerity.
All right. Number 6, throws a girl into a lit furnace. This is another context one.
Frederick Krueger.
I said Jason.
Yeah, it was Frederick. You know, furnace, boiler room type of setting. You gotta, your mind needs to go to Freddy right away there.
No, I should have.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay, Corey.
That's in Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. All right, number 7. Impales a boy's hand with a corkscrew, then cleavers his face.
Michael.
I also said Michael.
Both of you were wrong. That was Jason.
It was Jason.
In Friday the 13th, Part 4, with an actor that you guys would recognize, but I don't want to spoil
Corey
it.
Feldman.
Nope. All right.
No?
Number 8. Impales a girl with a shotgun.
Jason.
I also wrote Jason.
Seems like something he'd do, but it was, in fact, Michael Myers
Wow.
in Halloween.
So we flipped him.
Choice.
All right, so right now we still have Cole in the lead with 4. Corey has 3. But we are now on 9. Pins a man to a fuse box, explodes his head.
Jason.
I wrote
Or
Jason.
Freddy.
Wait, no, I wrote Freddy.
You guys both write Freddy there?
Yeah.
Double check, but I'm pretty sure I wrote
This
Freddy.
is
Yeah,
question.
Cole wrote Freddy. Yeah, Cole wrote Freddy.
Did I write Freddy? If I did, then I'm on the right spot. I believe I wrote Freddy.
Freddy.
Yes, you wrote Freddy. Well, it doesn't matter. You guys are both wrong.
Nice.
So it was, in fact, Michael Myers in Halloween 6 with mean old Mr. Strode. He blows up his head.
Just mean old Mr. Strode.
He's a mean guy in that one. He had that one coming.
Mr. Mustard said.
Number 10. Tears a boy's heart from his chest.
He said a lot this episode.
I wrote Michael.
I wrote Jason.
It was Jason. So Cole now is up 5-3. It's going to take a lot for Corey to come back here. Number 11. Disembowels a man with a tree trimming saw.
I wrote
Jason.
You guys both got that one right. All right. Number 12. Drowned a boy in a waterbed.
I also wrote Freddy.
That's how he killed Johnny
got that
Depp.
one right.
That's how he killed John.
That's not the one
right?
I mean, Johnny Depp's not in a waterbed, but he drags him into a bed. There's another boy that he quite literally has
You keep
has a
saying
water
boy.
bed.
Stop it.
Cole, why are you trying to make sure that these kids are tried as adults here? Why are you trying to age them up?
Right, as adults. It's
That-
insane.
It's a little...
Last
You're
one,
pretty,
right?
you're pretty adamant on it. All right, 13. Boy and girl impaled mid-coitus with spear. Or, Cole, you want me to say 2 adults? Do you want me to say 2 adults?
Jason.
Were they both mature for their age, Cole?
I don't know. Jason.
It was Jason. All right, so that is...
Did I get 6? 5?
Yeah, you did pretty well.
Whoa. Okay.
Now on the bonus questions, where you guess Halloween has the highest overall average with a 2.76, and Cole guessed Nightmare on Elm Street with a 3.23. Cole was right; it is Nightmare, but Corey was far closer with his guess of 2.76. Nightmare's average is 2.81, so Corey was around it. Of course, it didn't really matter because Cole won outright, but good guesses all around.
I applaud your guess. I was going to guess Nightmare on Elm Street. I was thinking that because it had less entries, and so it's like that would probably, like, the good ones could probably
less
hold
entries, and the fact that when you think of the Nightmare, you think of like a consistent quality. With Halloween, I think of a dip in quality as well as films people just did not like.
People get pretty vitriolic about Halloween movies, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking with Halloween, the early ones and the late ones might elevate it enough that it could put it higher.
It's not a
up.
bad
That's
thought.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
No,
Alas.
Halloween
On to
kills in it.
Cole, congratulations. You are now up 3-0 on both of us. On to the action.
Even the opening scene, there's always some random girl who gets a call that undoubtedly ends up getting her killed. It's also predictable. There's no element of surprise. You can see everything coming. Ah!
Did that surprise you?
Why?
Because you talk too much. Now shut the fuck up and watch the movie.
Is that an Irish accent?
The action.
Okay, now Corey, I think we confirmed that you did not watch this movie
Nope, I
because
watched it.
you thought Jason was the killer at the beginning of our conversation.
No.
was-
I was confused by the explanation, so I was asking a clarifying question. But I did watch it, so you don't have to explain it if you don't want to.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
In 1958, Barry and Claudette are murdered at Camp Crystal Lake after sneaking off together. The camp is reopened in 1979 despite its dark history, including the drowning of a young boy, Jason, in 1957. Counselor Annie hitchhikes to the camp but is killed by an unseen assailant before she arrives. A group of counselors begins preparing the camp with owner Steve Christie while owner Steve Christie leaves to get supplies. One by one, counselors are stalked and murdered during a violent storm. Ned, Jack, Marcy, and Brenda are all killed in separate attacks around the camp. Investigate the disappearances, but Bill is murdered, leaving Alice alone. Steve returns but is killed at the camp entrance, and Alice is terrorized as bodies are revealed. Mrs. Voorhees appears and confesses she is the killer, seeking revenge for her son Jason's death. Alice kills Mrs. Voorhees and survives, but is traumatized by a final vision of Jason emerging from Camp Crystal's Lake.
Camp Crystal's Lake.
Camp Crystal's?
It's like this is like someone named Camp Crystal, and this is her lake.
I thought it'd be a fun way to end.
We should explore that. Maybe that's what they'll explore in the prequel.
They're doing a prequel?
Now,
yeah,
Corey,
with Linda Cardellini
we'll talk
as
about that.
Pamela Voorhees.
We'll talk about that because I'm
Velma.
curious about that show. Yeah, save that for now. So you keep that bottled up. Corey, you usually have something here.
I do.
And yesterday
usually.
you teased it. Corey went to teasing camp, and he texted us yesterday. I'm nervous for the episode. It said why? Because of Riverside, the software that we use, which we've had issues with lately, probably due to me, and we had some more today. So I thought
like they've gone away.
I thought that was a
They look like
fair
they've gone
thing to
away.
assume that's what was making Corey nervous. He said no because of my opinion, and I of course responded with an eyes emoji. Now, I want to say at the outset, I don't want you to be nervous. This is a safe place, a forum to share your
Corey,
opinions, a meeting of the minds. This is the
Bubby.
Roman Council, you know? This is democratic.
Yeah, I know. And it was less so nervous. Okay, so I had not seen this movie before watching it today. Not today. I'm sorry. I did watch it today, but for the first time I watched it, because I watched it twice, and it has to go into this first thing I wanted to bring up. The first time I watched it, it did not blow me away. I was not very inspired by it, to be honest. And I feel
I like that term, inspired.
I feel like, but the reason I use that term, I feel like there are a lot of horror filmmakers specifically that have been inspired by this. One of my favorite scary movies, Scream. Zach, a lot of that is thanks to you, that it's one of my favorite scary movies, probably one of my favorite movies, and it's something that I can go back to.
He's buttering you up for something.
But it's something I can go back to time and time again. And one of the first lines of the movie is, "What's your favorite scary movie?" Friday the 13th. You know, and they have this entire back and forth.
Trivia question.
It's a trivia question.
Who was the original killer?
Yeah. And there are a lot of different things that I could see in this movie, specifically how they work the camera, the POV with the killer, kind of the vibe that they have, you know, the aesthetic overlay with the colors. I feel like I've seen that before as well. And so there are a lot of things that other filmmakers have taken away from this movie in films that I enjoy a lot. I don't really understand why they took maybe it's just because it's a movie they watched, so they took it away because they liked that aspect. They didn't necessarily think it was an amazing movie, but it's happened too often, too frequently, for people to not see something that I am not seeing, I fear. And so the part of the reason I said I'm nervous about this because of my opinion is because I hold so many other movies in such high regard that I feel like hold this movie in high regard. And I don't know what I'm missing, but to me, Some of the writing seems sloppy. The characters, Zach, I know you wrote down on our document they felt lived in, and I'm excited to talk about that aspect because I think that aspect was very strong. But like, I don't know if all the characters necessarily felt original. I felt like those were the real like characters that had individual not personalities, but like they looked very, very different. They had very different styles. Ned and Billy and Brenna and Brenda, and Marcy.
Yeah, Marcy, Brenda.
Kind of mirror one another in terms of style and how you see, like how you look at it. And I understand they're very different people. They have very different personalities, all of them. But like it felt a little bit lazy in that aspect. And all the townspeople kind of felt like they were just like one character where it was like, oh, you probably shouldn't do that now, you know? And so I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something in that aspect. The action wasn't very like engaging when they were wrestling on the beach.
But like I totally hear what you're saying with like the overall that not one thing really blew you away about it, and that's
yes.
I want to say this on the outset, and this is also what I want to make clear. That's why I was like, oh, it's so cute that he's nervous about this. I said earlier at the beginning of the game that this Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, those are like the big three horror franchises.
Yes.
And financially speaking, that is absolutely the case. And it is like that. It is very prolific. Jason is such a part of pop culture. He's not present in this movie, so that's why it's also kind of an outlier. This first movie is such an outlier to the rest of the series because it's just doesn't exhibit, besides the camp setting, does not exhibit what the series would ultimately become known for. And if you ask someone who hasn't really seen these movies, oh, what's a Friday the 13th movie like? What they will describe to you is probably more in line with Part 3 or Part 4. Not even Part 2. Even Part 2 is pretty different. It has Jason, but not kind of how we know him, pop culture-wise. But this, if I'm comparing the first movies, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, and we could even go a step further and say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or the first Hellraiser, all of these big horror franchises. The first movies in all of them, I'd say this is the clear bottom rung. This is like...
So I'm not
This is not... I don't think this movie is held in the highest regard from an artistic point of view, from a pop culture point of view, and significance of like, oh, that's neat that started that franchise, especially when it became something so different. It's interesting from that perspective. And I like the movie, for sure. I don't know anyone that is comparing this to Halloween, the original Halloween as a movie, or the original Nightmare on Elm Street, which I think are whole tier above this.
What is it about this franchise? Is it like Part 3? Is it Part 4? Is it Part 2 that
my favorite
really escalated this
speaking,
movie?
Speaking
or is this
broadly, I don't think any of them... I think it's just... It has a... Well, as Randy says, it's a formula. A very simple formula. And you know what you're going to get out of a Friday the 13th movie. And I think if you're asking me genuinely, I think it does peak at 4. I think 4 is the best one.
Is
I
it
think
considered the best one? Like, are general audiences thinking that as well?
That's the thing with Friday the 13th is because this first one is not as held in high regard. There's not a clear collective consensus, oh, this is the best one, like there is with Halloween or Nightmare, where they just say the first one, you know, or any of those other franchises. This one, probably more than any of the other series, has probably the widest delta of what people would say is the best one. I think it's Part 4. I think it just has all the best elements that are exhibited in other movies. Like, this is the way I phrase it and I'll get off Part 4 in a second. I think Part 4 has the hangout feel of this one that I like. I think Part 2 is the creepiest, and I think Part 4 has some of that. And I think Part 6 is like funny. Like, it has comedy, like intentional comedy. And I think Part 4 has all of those elements distilled into one perfect, like, encapsulation of what people probably think Friday the 13th movies are. Okay. And I think and Jason is full on, you know, hockey mask Jason at that point.
Yeah.
So.
And this one, I'm not exactly sure if it's a slasher movie or a paranormal movie. It's kind of hard to tell. Like,
that's because that's exactly what I was about to get at. Is I think when people mimic this movie, yeah, it might be from like a filmmaking sense, just respect for like the influence, but the influence is because this was ripping off Halloween, clearly, but like the way I've heard, I'm not gonna take credit for this. There's a huge wave of slasher movies in the 80s, and Friday the 13th is 1980. And so this is really at the onset of it. And this made a boatload of money. And it was clearly ripping off Halloween. So this was ripping off Halloween. All the other slasher movies of the 80s are ripping off this. So it's a ripoff of a ripoff. This really set that formula as we know it, in the sense, because I think Halloween is just made better. It's just a better made movie. The characters are better written, better acted across the board, better music.
Simple shots in Halloween are more engaging sometimes than like the very intense shots in this movie, I think. Like you can watch Laurie walk down a sidewalk with Michael Myers peering around, and you have the aesthetics of the trees around her in the neighborhood, and it's very engaging. There's a lot going on, and like the eerie music. And I think all that stuff in this movie is just steps below. Cole, did you have a feel like on that? How do you hold this? Is this the first time you've seen it, or have you seen it?
Yeah, this is the first time I've watched it all the way through. Obviously, I think everyone knows the killer reveal, so that lost its luster at this point, because that's kind of a staple of pop culture.
Because of Scream.
Scream.
I was gonna say I forgot about it until it happened, and then I was like, "Oh, that's."
I was wondering if you would. I made sure not. That's why I put in our document the killer, not Mrs. Voorhees, because I was like, I bet Corey forgot. Really, in my head, I knew that Corey forgot.
It's Jason. It's Jason. I've seen it 100 times.
Well, on that Scream topic, did you see the Scream 2? Its influence on Scream 2 now.
Yeah.
With the killer in Scream 2, the short-haired mom revenge thing.
Yeah.
Wearing a sweater and, I think it's Scream 2.
She was wearing a
The
suit.
Mrs. Loomis is, I mean, they don't have to hammer you over the head with it, but it's definitely a reference to Mrs.
Yeah.
So it continues into the second Scream is just my brief point there. But go on, Cole.
Yes.
Because I know, Cole, you'd seen the remake, so that was your perception of
I had
Friday the 13th.
seen the remake, and obviously, as Zach said, this is not that. The remake skips or condenses this entire movie into like a opening credit sequence.
Literally, yeah.
Which I think, I'm going to say the opening credit sequence in the remake is far and away better than the entirety of this movie.
Is the remake good?
I actually enjoy the remake. I
fun.
very much enjoy the remake. Zach thinks it's pretty stupendous, but I enjoy the remake. That being said, if Zach said these characters feel lived in, I think that is the biggest crock of crap ever, because these are not characters, these are caricatures. None of them feel lived in.
I'm gonna love for you to back that one up.
Alice is the only one that I look at and I feel like, oh my God, she has an arc. She is going through something.
You don't need an arc to be lived in.
That's not what lived in means. Yeah.
And also, just there is no level of dialogue that alludes to friendship of a long-standing point with these characters. There are no actions that kind of allude to this.
Well, some of them just met for the first time today. This is their first day meeting at the camp where they're going to work. These aren't like, oh, these are all our old buddies. We're all going to work this summer together.
And they're just some horny boys.
Just getting it on in the camp.
Well, the caricature thing, Cole, is... I don't think that's valid at all. Caricature just means like they have like one distinct quality, and that's what they are, and that there's not like a person underneath it.
That's what these characters feel like to me. I could not really care about these characters, and I think slasher films... There's between
not caring and then caricature.
There's the way they were written is so thin. Okay, so you can talk about a character... Great example, Linda from Halloween. Very one note, but she is written so well. And you clearly can tell there is this friendship with Laurie that you care about. So when she dies, you care about it because she's friends with your lead actress. So you care about this affects this character and the domino effect of what that happens. As I said, Linda's very well written, but she's not more than kind of one note. But I still care more about her than I care about any of these characters because of the way they are written. In slasher films, like, I have to care about the characters because the killer is sometimes not going to be original. I didn't feel like Pamela Voorhees. I thought the twist, while great, she's not that original of a character.
How is she, what do you mean she's not original? Who before this is...
It doesn't
feel...
Well,
they did it in Scream 2.
Yeah, they did do it in Scream 2.
I feel like you're viewing this too much from a right now point of view when there really is no precedent to this character at all in 1980. a mom that goes crazy and kills people because of the death of her son made her spiral.
Kill
You're viewing
them,
this so much from
Jason.
like I've seen all these slasher movies now. This, like I'm saying,
Yeah, and that is how I'm viewing it, and we're a movie franchise podcast. Point A is always going to lead to point B. We do it all the time.
Cole, you feel like you just patted me on the back and said good point, Zach, but with an attitude that made it sound like you were proving your point there.
I'm a little lost, if I'm being honest.
Point B came because of point A, but you watched point B first, so you're like, I'm going to punish point A because I saw point B first.
Yeah, I am punishing point A.
Yeah, that doesn't make... Yeah, okay. I would compare this to like the Evil Dead characters, where like, okay, we're not getting big backstory with them, but they feel like an actual group of kids. I think, Cole, like you brought up the remake, I think the remake, not to talk about the remake, but just using it as the first example in my head, there are characters in that are absolutely caricatures, that have one personality trait and they dial it up to 10. Those don't feel like lived-in characters. It's like, oh, this is the stoner guy, so his jokes are all about weed. Oh, this is the asshole guy, so his dialogue is all about, I'm a pretentious asshole. Like,
I'm gonna
and
cheat on my girlfriend.
These people just like, they just talk like normal people. And like that's really my main point there.
Ned, if you look at Ned specifically, he is probably a caricature.
Here's the thing, I could see that, but also I think there is even a layer to him too, because I think like, oh, this is the funny guy, and all his jokes are funny. I don't think all his jokes are funny. That doesn't also mean that I don't think some of them are. I think he is just dialed up to 10 trying to be a funny guy, and you can see there are actually moments in this movie where he makes a joke, nobody laughs. And you can see that there's a try-hard aspect to him, and sometimes it lands and sometimes it doesn't. And there's a little bit where he's watching from a distance, Kevin Bacon and Darcy, and he's just watching, and he kind of just walks off on his own, kind of sad. And like, we don't get a whole scene where he's like, I'm so lonely, but like that one bit is enough to be like, he wants to kind of have that, he doesn't, and then he immediately is killed right after. Yeah. So
he goes
like
into the cabin.
I mean, I think he's a goofy guy, but like I don't think he's this is the joke of the movie, like where he's like I think he takes it too far sometimes, but I don't think he's like annoying. So again, it's just, it doesn't have to outwardly say these things for it to feel like, okay, there's a layer underneath it. With Alice's like, oh, like he was trying to get Alice to stay, and she's like, no, I don't know, there's some trouble back home that I gotta go deal with. Like, we don't have to be like, wait, what's her trouble back home? Doesn't matter. It's just real people just have other things in their life beyond what we're seeing on screen right now.
Or she just wanted to get away from Steve.
Or that.
Was also the vibe I was getting.
Yes, the way Steve just touches her hair. We don't have a whole scene where she has to break down her and Steve's relationship to someone else later. We get enough in that one scene to know, like, there was probably a line that got crossed. And
very early on. Still 2 weeks till camp even starts.
Yeah. And he's trying to make deals like, if you want to leave, then I'll drop you off myself in a week. just hang out. So like, I don't know. There's enough there to feel like there's layers. I don't think like I said, I'm not trying to make it seem like these are like the best characters in the world. I just don't. There's enough there for me to just think they're real people, and it's not like I get pleasure in watching them die. Like the way I talked about Mr. Strode in like Halloween 6. Caricature. I mean, fun character, caricature. These are just like people.
I think
kids
if you make that sequence where they're actually enjoying each other's company last a little longer, for me, you just add like a little 5 minutes, like make it feel. I think we talked about it when we talked about Halloween. Like the scenes where Laurie's talking to her friends, those feel real. That feels like a real friend group. And I'm not saying you have to exposition dump, but you can still have like 5 extra minutes and create a moment where they are just talking and creating this bond that makes me care about them.
Yeah, just another couple moves in Strip Monopoly. That would have just done. I think that would have done.
No, you could have done that. Like, I love the
fake
death, the fake death sequence, like where he's like, I'm drowning. That worked for me. I thought that was like something some asshole would do at a summer camp. I thought that was phenomenal.
Okay, phenomenal's a bit.
You
don't have to say phenomenal for that one.
It was really good.
Okay, here's a scene that I think does show
like
their personalities. That kind of what Cole's saying. I think the scene where the cop shows up on the bike and they're talking to the cop. I think
Janet,
I think
Tato.
Ned doing his Ned doing his his dated little Native American dance there, and then seeing the cop and go just like, oh shit, like just. But like the way that he talks, and Kevin Bacon immediately goes to the bike, is like, wow, bike, and like
It's like, I don't smoke. Smoking's bad for you.
he goes, you know what I'm
Little
talking
PSA right
about, weed, hash, whatever. And then Ned's just like, what's he talking about? Like he's like that all felt like just genuine. These are like here's the thing. My point here is not like, oh wow, amazing characters. These just feel like regular kids, and that's enough for me in this slasher movie to be like, this kind of. I mean, not that it sucks when they die, because that's the whole point of this movie. Is like we're watching kind of a bit of an eerie little camp slasher movie here, but like it's enough for me to like not just like glaze over and just be like, well, yeah, kill him, get him out of here. Like it's like, oh, that sucks,
Yeah.
So like that's my point there, and I think it's a result of like. Well, Corey, you go ahead. You look.
I was gonna say I agree with you, but I think honestly it came through more during the second watch than it did the first time I watched it. Because when I watched it for the first time, I sent that text. I was like, I wanted to like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I watched it again. I was like, you know what? When I was watching the first time, something came up in the middle of it, so I had to pause. I had to deal with something, and so maybe that like affected how I was watching, because like I was distracted after I turned it back on for a little bit. And so I was like, let me just watch it all the way through. It's a quick watch. I already had it rented, so I was like, I might as well just give it another go. I have right now to do it. And the lived-in, more real aspect of it, I think came through during that watch. Because, Cole, that scene you were talking about when Ned is pretending to die and all of them are diving in, I was like, that was a really good scene. I think that could have been adjusted, because I think at the very beginning of the movie, you could have painted some sort of eeriness around the lake specifically, and then your audience would have had more stakes beyond like, oh no, he might be drowning, they're gonna save him. It's like, oh no, he's stuck in there by himself. He might get grabbed, as we find out later in the movie is a possibility.
I think you're right there. I think the one thing that you would lose if you did that is the shock of that ending with the lake.
But you don't even need to show what it is. You just need to show like something eerie happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair enough.
But I do think, to finish off that one point about the characters, I do think the lived-in feel and the more uniqueness of the characters and how there's more depth to them than Cole. I agree with you. I didn't really see it on the first watch, but I think it might be there. It's just in subtle ways. It doesn't really hit you over the head. And in an hour and a half movie, I think it needs to hit you a little bit more than it did. But I agree that it's there. It just didn't. It takes some effort to see it, and I didn't see it until the second one.
Doesn't hit you in the face with it for sure. It's it's very casual. It's a very casual. Yeah. Here's the thing: unique, no; depth, yes, is how I would say that. And that then not like depth that we can see. It's just you can tell that there's more going on with these people than just what is outwardly said out loud.
Yeah, but I would like to talk about the horror and the thriller and the killer aspect of it all. Cole, did you have something that you wanted to say before that?
No, I would love to move on to that section, because
go ahead.
There are aspects of this film that I actually really liked. And the idea that this film is a whodunit, it really is. It's an interesting interesting take on the whodunit, which I really like. The fact that these two counselors killed unseen assailant. Camp has been shut down for the better part of 20 years. We then have Annie, who is painted as our protagonist. She is like the girl at the beginning of Psycho, I'm not going to spoil Psycho.
Thank you.
You did.
But what happens to Annie, that is also really interesting. Hey, you missed the exit, but it's just a POV shot. We hear no dialogue. I think that's great. The creeping through the trees, this kind of, I'd like to say it was a low-budget Predator film in like the way that we see this killer kind of stalking them. She tracks them and she gets Ned into the cabin somehow. Like
it was kind of hard to tell when it was a POV of the killer and when it was just a camera shot.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, you nailed it. Oh, you just nailed it. And here's the thing. I think that's intentional. I think that's intentional.
The POVs worked for me. I thought the eeriness of them and the eyes of a killer, because we don't really get a lot of films that are willing to take that risk and let us see truly through the eyes of the killer.
Cole, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you seen Zodiac?
I've seen Zodiac. It's been a minute.
There's a scene in this that reminded me of Zodiac. The car scene with Annie in it. I don't know why, but that reminded me when...
The basement?
No.
Oh, the car scene with the woman and the baby?
The car scene with, the woman and the baby. Do you kind of see it?
Yeah, I can see that. I think that...
Cool,
here's the thing is...
Watch it. That's...
I gotta rewatch Zodiac.
It's
Here's the thing. That scene, that's the difference between this movie, which I like, Friday the 13th, and Zodiac, which I think is like phenomenal, to use Cole's word. I think that the tension between those two scenes is kind of night and day, because that is terrifying in Zodiac, that scene. But
Zach, you said the camera work was intentional.
Yeah, okay, so the POV in itself, I think it's part of the Halloween ripoff, at least in the opening. Is like Halloween starts with an opening kill like that. Yeah. Two characters go to have sex. We don't see who's killing it. The thing is, at the end of the Halloween thing, we do reveal it was Michael. Once we've revealed who the killer is, we don't go back to a Michael Myers POV the rest of the movie, because we know who the killer is. We stick with the POV here because it is a whodunit, It's kind of an unfair one because we don't meet her until that moment. All we have from her, that in reference to her and her motivation, is just that one in passing line that the guy has in the car with Annie, the original guy who drives her. And, it just says, "Oh, the boy who drowned in 57." That's all. That's it. That's all you have for Mrs. Voorhees. So impossible to actually predict the killer. So that's why it's not like a fair whodunit. But I also think it has to be like that, because if you reveal it's Mrs. Voorhees early, your tension is probably dissipated quite a bit, because she's not an imposing killer physically. She's unsettling because she's not wearing a mask or anything. She's not big. She's not like physically imposing, like I said, but she's scary in a way that's like,
you can tell there's like a screw loose.
Yes, I was gonna say she is Coco Bananas. She is
cuckoo for Coco.
She is out of her mind.
Bananas.
And here's the thing. We see her like when Alice, you can see like the turning point as she's starting to go give her monologue to Alice about Jason. And I think that's when because Alice, she sees her, she hugs her. And it's like, oh, thank God. Like, just a nice, like, middle-aged woman here. It couldn't be her who's killing people around here.
Comforting.
And then as she's watching, she shows Alice Brenda's body. And then this woman goes on this monologue or whatever about her dead kid. And it's like, oh no, there's something. It's got to be a moment during that monologue. Like, oh, damn it. Like, I'm not quite safe yet. But, like, yeah, she starts to reveal that insanity there, like, peeling it back in that monologue. And it's the way that when Alice starts running and then she starts talking to herself in Jason's voice, like,
kill her, mommy, kill her.
Yeah. And then her like, I will, Jason. And then it's like, okay, yeah, she's gone. She is just absolutely insane. But that adds, Corey, now I'm glad you rewatched it, because it makes one scene earlier in the movie so much creepier.
Yep.
That scene that gets Brenda out during that storm, she just hears like a little boy's voice go, help me, or whatever. And it's such a creepy voice.
I watched it with the subtitles, and it says that's Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, that is creepy. That's really creepy.
Created another question in my head. Is Jason killing anyone in this movie? And here's why I ask it. Because
tough one for me to answer.
Mrs. Voorhees. Dang it, okay. I was gonna say it's just a theory I have because Mrs.
I guess
Voorhees
if we're taking this movie on its own, which we should be, I guess.
Yes.
Then that's an interesting question.
Because I think with Mrs. Voorhees driving up at the very end after, that's Brenda, right? Or Brenna. Brenda. It's Brenda that gets thrown
There's a
through
D
the
in
window.
there. Brenda.
But that gets thrown through the window.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if she's driving up, and then right after that she runs out after Brenda gets thrown in, and then Mrs. Voorhees is driving up. Either it's just, oops, messed that one up,
I feel like,
which it could be, or it was intentionally led to that was Jason doing it, and the credit. I know you can't speak to it, and I don't really want you to, but that's just my theory I have right now. because you said the fourth one is the best in your mind, I might try to get to the fourth one. So maybe it'll be
2, 3, and 4 are a great trilogy, I think, put together, because they all. Here's what I'll say: is 2, 3, and 4 take place 5 years after this, and they all take place in a 1 week span total. 2, 3, and 4. He gets a lot of done in those weeks. In that week, he's a very busy boy.
Yeah, but it also just
and he's like father, like mother, like son. I think this series averages one body thrown through a window per movie. He loves to do that. He does not like a window, and he likes to break them with bodies.
So
he likes to throw them. That's his big thing. Throwing the bodies.
I think the more interesting question here, Corey, is do you think? And I'll tell you, this is not one with a clear answer, because this is still debated. So it's not like, the sequel will reveal this.
Okay.
Because obviously, Jason's not actually let me not even say that. Do you think him jumping out of the water at the end was a dream, or do you think he did that? That actually happened.
I think he did it because Alice did not look like she even wanted to move, and they pulled her out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think she actually was underneath the water. And I think because the whispering, in my mind, based on just this movie, I think that was actually Jason whispering, saying like, help me, come help me. I think that was actually him from what I've seen. That's what I think. So I think he actually was in the water.
Nobody can tell me any different.
I'm telling you what I know, what I'm thinking, and I'm telling you why, and I'm basing it just off this movie. I haven't seen any other one.
It's an interesting question.
That is interesting, and obviously, I don't want to go into too much depth if Corey hasn't seen the other ones.
Which ones have you seen, Cole? You've seen the remake.
This and the remake.
That's it?
But,
see, Cole, then you haven't seen anything in this continuity, then. Because remake's not really... Sure. The remake's not really part of it. It's a remake.
Okay, so Cole, what do you think then?
I think it was her. I think she was doing that, and
you think it was Alice that threw herself in the water?
Alice? No, I think Jason came up.
I think there are two different things we're talking about. Do you think Jason was killing people during this movie, and do you think he was actually pulled Alice in the water at the end?
I do not think Jason was killing people during this movie, and I think the fact that it is just the mother makes it that much more terrifying, and that is one of the aspects that works. I do think Alice was pulled into the water.
Yeah, that's where I land.
Clearly, these cops, I don't think they're quite on it.
Boy.
Yeah.
He says that
so
we didn't find any boy.
They're probably just kicking rocks on the beach. Like, look at the seashell, man.
And like Alice, like, he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is.
Ooh, and that last little shot of the lake.
And the piano synth playing in the background.
Someone might as well just came out and looked at the audience and said, "We will see you next year." Like that ending.
I
there.
saw that the part 2 came out just.
They cranked
later,
it out.
Which I was like,
because this movie just blew up. This movie blew up.
But it's still insane turnaround for especially.
Let me tell you from a quick business thing here, Corey.
Yeah.
They had the title. They said we're gonna make a movie called Friday the 13th. We think that's a good title, and we're gonna rip off Halloween. No script written at all, and they took out an ad in like the trades here or something, a full page ad that said Friday the 13th, the most terrifying picture ever made next year or next summer, and they had nothing. They like made it seem like it's it's done. We're ready to show you guys. They had nothing. They had a title. And then he was like trying to lure investors. This guy, Sean is cutting him. He's not like a filmmaker in the traditional sense. He's like a producer, and it was just like, well, I guess I'll do it. I'll save money there. I'll be the director too.
I'll do it.
Honestly, for someone, I think all things considered, I'd like, he did pretty good for a guy that's not like a director, like by trade.
Not classically trained.
He's not classically trained. No, he's the money guy. He's a business guy.
But
he's definitely balling on a budget here.
I also think a reason that I believe that it was actually Jason that pulled her into the water is because up until this point, we haven't seen a lot of paranormal or dream sequences where it's like, is this real? Is it not? Like, it feels like what we're seeing is what is happening with the movie.
What you see is what you get.
Even though it's paranormal for him to be in the water and reaching out, I still feel like that's happening because we haven't really got a sense of like, what's going on,
Corey, did you see Carrie? The 70s movie Carrie?
Have you
specifically
seen Chloe Grace Moretz, Carrie?
not relevant to what I'm going to ask, but I guess fair enough if you want to answer that.
No.
Okay. So they specifically reference the end of this movie, that Jason jump out of the water ending originally was not there. And they were like, we need something. We need a sting here at the end. And because the movie Carrie ended with a stinger. And that's kind of what started, I think, is widely looked at. I'm sure there are outliers here and there. The Carrie ending is widely regarded as what started the final scare at the end of a movie trope for horror movies. And they were like, let's try to do that. Because Halloween ends on a bleak note, but it's not like a final scare. You know what I mean? It's not a stinger. It's like a, man, he's still out there. So it's more of a thematic, like, eerie ending, not a jump ending, which is what Carrie and Friday the 13th stole from that. In Carrie, it is a dream sequence. It is absolutely a dream sequence. And I think that's the one argument to be made. Like, oh, they literally said we're ripping off Carrie's ending. So it's a dream, you know, like that's the one argument.
They need to stop being so honest.
I kind of love it. That's what I'm saying. That's why you know that there was money first with all of this, you know. Like
when someone asks you if someone asks you if you ripped off a movie,
you say yes.
Say no.
Say yes.
Yeah. Well, I think on the topic of that ending,
I do wanna ask you guys one thing. Do you also find it funny that I get that Jason's face will be mangled? He's been in this water for years. The rest of him is not. Like, if you look at his arms, he is perfectly fine.
Here's the thing. I don't know what the right terms are here. And I guarantee you they were not using the right terms in 1979 when they were making this movie. It does appear even in Pamela's memories of Jason drowning. I would have to rewatch that one clip, but like when she's like replaying it in her head, his face doesn't quite look like it's on the up and up, you know? So I feel like the way he looks at the end is it that far from how he was looking in those
It's definitely
memories?
Not that far from how
I don't know if him looking like
in the
his
memory.
Yeah, I think he always had some kind of disfigurement. I don't really know. I'm dancing around the words here because I guarantee you the way, if I looked at the page, I'm sure it would say some things.
And you're saying that's why they let him drown?
No.
Zach's saying the counselors took one look at this boy and said, we're going to fornicate.
Interesting. I don't know if I saw that. I don't know if I saw that in the flashback. Maybe I'll look it up.
Here's the thing. It's hard for me to divorce myself from how they talk about him in the sequels. Part 2, really, they do talk about him in a more broad sense of what he might have been like at that time. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that. But that final, this is my answer for like what's the scariest moment of the movie. If you think any moment is scary, I do think that final jump scare is really well executed. And I think you can just picture the credits fading in over her in the boat, and like think it just could end like that. The music's really pretty as compared to the rest of the movie during that part. So you're like, oh, okay. It's like a triumphant little peaceful ending for Alice. No, you know. So that's why it's a big shock moment there. I think that's really well executed. But is there any other moment in the movie that you think is like, whether it's a jump scare or like just a moment that you found creepy or unnerving at all?
Kevin Bacon's death.
That's a good one.
The hand on the shoulder, arrow through the throat. That's clearly
really well executed.
Through the skin.
See, that's one of those ones with it's layers in that scene because the first reveal.
I know. I was gonna say that's the one.
Ned's dead.
They are having sex below Ned's body,
and then he starts dripping on them.
That's well executed. Yeah, it's really.
I thought that part was the creepiest one, but I think that entire sequence is really well done. It's like this. I thought at that point, the first time I watched it, and the second time, I was like, okay, this is where the movie earns its keep. You know, I thought that's where it was going to really start. All the moments, this is what it's from. This is why people love it so much. I mean, we didn't really get to see Brenda die.
Right.
We didn't.
Bill and Brenda are just like found bodies, and Steve. I mean, you don't see Steve die.
And we don't see. Do we see Ned die?
No, we don't see it. We only see Jack and Marcy and Annie.
Yeah.
Like we don't even see
and Mrs. Voorhees. If we're talking from like oh wow, that's really cool gore effect. That I think that top of that might be Mrs. Voorhees' head getting cut off and her hands still flexing. I mean, she getting cut off and you see like the bone, like her spinal bone, like in the center. I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty neat.
That's pretty good.
I think moments that I actually found, because if you're like, oh wow, is this a scary movie? I think at the time, I'm sure some people would say it's scary because again, we have now been conditioned as audiences because we've seen so many horror movies now that use these tropes that we're just used to them. It's not going to scare us. So it's
that stuff.
Yeah, I think watching it now, no, I'm not jumping out of my seat, But like, I think when you watch it in certain ways, like kind of the way like I'll read a book. Nothing in a book is going to make you jump when you're reading a scary book, but you can like let it get under your skin a bit. That's really kind of like how a horror book can like work on, like when you're reading it. I think moments that I notice when I'm watching this that are like actually kind of creepy. See, I wrote them down.
Nice.
I think we already kind of started with Jack and Marcy, Jack being Kevin Bacon. But I think Marcy alone in like the bathroom is kind of eerie. I think when Brenda's in the bathroom and you just see, there's like a really quick shot where you just see the slight bit of a hand behind a curtain kind of disappear. Like that's pretty, and especially since Brenda doesn't even die in that scene. It's just like, oh, she's just being watched just to be watched. Right now.
She's being stalked. Yeah.
Yeah. And like just a lamp still kind of moving back and forth. Like someone was just here. And like that's got to be a creepy feeling. Like, and it's someone who's here who is not revealing themselves. I wrote down the child voice, "Help me." I think that is genuinely one of the most eerie moments of the movie, especially since it's not like "help me, help me." Like it's not like an active someone continuously screaming. She hears one "help me," and it just nothing else enough for her to just be like, okay, well, I didn't hear anything, and then go back to her book.
Mommy, help
and
me.
Then she hears it again like 20 seconds later. So it's like something about that makes it even more creepy. But yeah, I think it's more of an eerie movie than like a scary movie. I think the camp setting is great for that. And I think, not to bring it back to the character aspect of it, but I think, Corey, I said it was lived in. Did I say that? I think my main thing was that it was,
maybe not.
I think because I broached it as, but it's a similar enough thing, because I said it's kind of a hangout movie in that I think I just don't mind sitting in this world with these characters. And part of that is the characters like we were talking about, but part of that is just the setting of Camp Crystal Lake.
Camp Crystal Lake keeps me in the movie. The idea that there is this kind of rundown camp, that they are getting ready, that they have 2 weeks to get ready, and it all goes to shit one day.
I think part of that to tie to the characters and why it is sad, because I think even the setting of camp inherently is, like you were saying earlier, Corey, like we missed that opportunity to have a great summer where we're working as counselors. It just kind of has an optimistic feeling in the sense that like they are so excited for this summer, and it's
going to be the
start.
Best summer ever.
It is literally the start of their summer, and you could be like, oh, whole summer, whole lives ahead of them, and they're all just cut down tonight. So that's kind of like the tragedy of it, I think. So that just kind of I think it just kind of sits over everything. It's a cloud hanging over this movie, I think, for me. And then it literally becomes one thing I have written here, and this is somewhat, people have noticed this in my writing, the way I talk about stuff in movies and in real life. I love storms, and even more specifically, I love when characters see a storm coming. I think that is always so eerie. Like, oh, a storm is coming. And I think that just Night of the Living Dead does it really well, but like it's Kevin Bacon and Marcy, she gives that monologue about how she has a dream about blood or whatever, like this raining blood.
Gets washed away.
And it just gets washed away. And then, it's like the lightning flashes and Kevin Bacon's so excited. He's like, oh, it's going to storm. And he's like,
soaks.
He's like, oh, it's going to really tear this whole place up. So I think, yeah, just the whole setting of it, I think it's kind of perfect. And also like the idea of camp, it's a campfire tale, it's like, People tell scary stories around a campfire. That's the whole gimmick there. And I think this kind of becomes a campfire tale.
I think it's perfect because it works in the reboot. There's a scene where a bunch of characters are sitting around a fire talking about Pamela Voorhees and like what she did to these campers who let her son die. So the movie becomes the campfire tale. Yeah, like you said.
I think the no cell phones, that also contributes to like a hangout movie in my head. Is like they're mostly older movies where characters don't have cell phones, because it just adds even more to the living in the momentness of it, like especially in the camp setting itself. Not only is it 1980, no cell phones, no internet, it's you're at a camp that's isolated that people in town don't want to go to, so like it just makes them feel truly isolated and alone. And I think that does just kind of add to the general unease of it. You know, just kind of turns, like I said, that optimism of camp turns it on its head. It's just like, nope, none for you guys. No life for you guys. Sorry, kids. Boop. You're dead. Oh. Yeah, I think that's why it's such a strong setting that, that's the whole series revolves around it. Except for eventually, I was going to say, Corey, like now that you've seen this movie twice, and it's kind of, you got to say, it's a pretty simple movie, kind of quaint. You want to guess where Friday the 13th 10 takes place?
God, 10?
It's called Jason X. He goes to space.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
No,
I swear to God.
He
I swear to God.
cryogenically freezes a woman's head.
By 8, we're in Manhattan. By 9, we are...
That's what I was going to guess. Like, are you in the big city at that point? Like, first...
Yeah.
It's Jason Takes Manhattan.
That is what it's called. It's probably the worst one. But there's a great shot.
So
like,
Jason
shot of him
and
in
the
Times
Muppets
Square. Like,
have
wow.
both taken Manhattan. That's what we're saying here.
Not at the same time, though, thankfully.
Time for Get a Load of this movie to do it now.
8's pretty bad. Yeah, by the time we're at 10, it's insane. He's in space. And then we bring it back down to Earth a bit, and we do Freddy vs. Jason, which is much more tangible, and believable. We'll see. I mean, here's the thing. What do we think of the... Corey, now you can answer this question, because I think the only really relevant movie to it, maybe the second one with some parts, but the only really relevant movie to this prequel show is this movie, because it's about Pamela Voorhees and her son Jason here in this Crystal Lake town in New Jersey. What would you want out of this show, Camp Crystal Lake?
It's just called Crystal Lake.
Okay,
So-
yeah.
It's about Mrs. Voorhees.
Yeah, Pamela, yeah.
I don't really know.
That's what I'm saying. It's not an obvious, like, oh, we need a prequel about that. It's like...
I mean, I could see the possibility of having a story earlier on. But, I mean, if you have all this content from Jason, I don't know if you'd want to necessarily show him as a child. I don't know how
they've cast the child.
What?
He is in the show as a child.
But, like, I just don't know how audiences would react to that.
There were some comments about it. I'm trying to see what the creator said. Yeah.
I don't know. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I was going to say, maybe, like, if you want to do it, have it be, like, her leading up, like, she works at the camp before Jason is old enough to go.
I mean, she was the cook.
Exactly. And so, like, you showed the summers, like, the seasons could be the summers before. But then you couldn't show anything bad because, like, they dated where that was the first bad thing that happened at camp.
Yeah, see, I'm really curious what the liberties are going to take with Kanan here. Kane said the series... Kane is being, I guess, one of the showrunners, Caleb Kane.
Brad Kane.
Yeah.
Who
he said this
famously was Aladdin's singing voice.
And it all comes together. Maybe we'll have to cover Aladdin as part of the Friday thing. He said it's a paranoid 70s thriller, has all the DNA of a slasher without quite being a slasher, but he promises rivers of blood, quote unquote, and ingenious kill sequences. So it's like, who is dying? Was she racking up bodies even while she still had Jason as a...
Here's the thing.
I mean...
It would make sense for someone that's this, like, would just go on a random, like, a killing spree like this that says, like, oh, I was brought onto this because my son died. Not even from, like, a murder. He drowned, and she's taking it out by murdering everyone that she can find. I can see that being there's a screw loose before that happens, but
okay, we have a Deadline article who said this show is being described as a story about a mother who had given up a singing career to raise a special needs child and takes a dark turn when she loses her son. Okay, so
this is.
I think we will cover his death. His death will be in the show. Then is what I'm guessing.
But that's good. It sounds like that's gonna be what starts.
I'm guessing maybe end of episode 1, maybe
possibly.
Oh, I can't. I guess we'll have to see. Looking forward to that on Peacock.
I think it's supposed to be the first A24 produced show. It's like their first attempt to get into Telemundo.
Are we?
Well, before we move on, I have a little mini note here. Yeah, we didn't really talk about her with the characters, but Cole, you did bring her up as she's set up as like the pseudo protagonist. I think Annie is really chipper, and it is kind of the sad death of it when she dies early. Because if you guys wanted outward personality, she seemed like she had the biggest one. So that was a sad one. I do like the symbolism of her being dropped off at the edge of a cemetery. Like that's like, all right, here's your stop, and she hops out, and there's just a giant cemetery behind her. That's
Foreshadowing.
Eerie. Yeah, foreshadowing. Crazy Ralph, what do you... Got good news for you. If you like Crazy Ralph, he's in the next one.
Dude, they gave him so much grief, and everyone is exactly the same.
Look at him.
I know, but everyone is saying the exact same things, and like, get out of here, you crazy guy.
I like that we
Don't go
have
up
two
there,
shots of
you're
him
gonna
riding away
die.
on his bike. We do, both times we get to have a shot of him riding away on his bike. That is fun. And he's got a wife.
Also, yeah.
He's like, oh, his wife is worried about him.
He gets like this.
What's
when
his
he
marriage
drinks.
like?
Yeah. Well,
Do you think he like comes through the door, takes off like a hat and a coat, and is like, "Honey, I'm home from scaring the townspeople."
How did the police officer not see his bike there? Because it is just laying out. You know, it is not.
Hey,
It
who's
is
left their bike here?
Ralph, get your bike out of the street.
And
I
how
love
long
the
was
whole-
he gonna wait in the pantry?
I am hoping he's in the prequel show. I'm hoping we
I would
get
be
a young
surprised if
Ralph.
he's not. If we're
Back
gonna
then,
get
they just
young-
called him Ralph.
Yeah,
you know, and
This is,
he's
you know what? This is actually a prequel show for Ralph.
eventually someone in the prequel show is going to be like Han Solo getting his name in Solo. Someone's going to be like, you know, that Ralph guy, he's kind of
weird.
crazy. He's kind of crazy.
Ralph,
And then Miles
crazy.
Teller is going to be like, say that again? Crazy Ralph? Let's
And on that note, the award season.
I had a prompt for Zach.
ask it.
How would you write this better?
I don't know what you mean by that. You see, I saw that. I didn't really know what you meant by that.
Like, what would you do to make this a better movie in your eyes? Like, what?
In 1,000 words, explain what you would do differently.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like giving it line notes. Here's the thing is, I don't think I don't have a problem with any of the dialogue at all. Like, I really, like, little things that I would change would be, like, the POV shot in the opening scene. I'd cut that down shorter when the girl's just going back and forth trying to get out of the way. I think it's not very scary. Yeah, it's hard to make that scary with the POV. I mean, little things like that. No, I just kind of I like the patience of it. I like the pacing of it. I like the fact that we do have those group scenes with a lot of long takes in this movie. That makes it doesn't make it feel like, oh wow, I'm watching a movie. It's like, oh okay, I'm just in this moment with this character, which I think maybe here's the thing. It
people.
serves a purpose. Because I think earlier in the movie when we have those big scenes of all those characters just like hanging out, like whether at the pool or like they're cooking in the kitchen or whatever, and then we have a scene later where it's just Alice. Bill has gone out to investigate something, or he's just like, hey, we'll be laughing about this tomorrow. It's after that. And Alice is just, lays down and she starts reading or walking back and forth into the kitchen. And it's like, what does that scene do? And it is so, because we've been in these hangout scenes with all these characters already. And then when it's just one, now we're down to one, it feels so empty and quiet and still. And I think we are watching her come to grips with that as well at the same time, because at the end of that scene, she like gets up and leaves the room and then finds Bill's body because she's like motivated at the end of the scene, like, okay, no, something is wrong here. Something is very off about what's going on out here. And it's because it is such a juxtaposition from like, you know, just the life that was filling up these spaces before. So I don't know. In terms of like really, I think structurally, it's hard for me to approach that question, Cole, but I think structurally there's really not much I would change. It would be like little small things, I think.
Okay.
Maybe like Corey said, maybe I'd add a couple more turns to the strip monopoly scene.
Just like one or two. You know, I think it was Alice's turn. Brenda was coming up, and then you can end it after that.
I think we should do an
Brenda was
episode of
close to losing.
strip podcast, franchise movie
Strip
podcasting,
podcasting.
where anytime someone gives a bad take, they have to take something off. So I think that Cole would
That'd
be a
be naughty.
naked little boy on this.
That note,
A real treat for the YouTubers.
onto the award season.
Apparently they strayed off course, and we're fairly certain they're in guerrilla hands.
So why don't you use the regular army? What do you need us for?
Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Cole, go ahead.
I am going to go Barry Abrams, the cinematographer. I really like the way this film was shot. I like the handheld guerrilla style of it all, but I also like the lingering shots on the lake and the scenery. This world feels like it could exist, and I think the camera work does something to create a world that feels like it could. There's things that take you out of it. The camera work never took me out of it, and I felt like it was really fun, really great.
You caught yourself.
You wanted to say it.
I
would have agreed with you on that one. I would have been like, I think it is a phenomenal looking movie. That shot of the diner in the rain, love that.
Cole, I'm gonna be honest. Not a lot popped out to me in this movie as like, oh, this is the best part of it. Besides that, and that was my pick as well.
Well, I want it noted I
say,
did not make the sheet. Zach did.
I know. I'll say Bill Freda. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his last name. Bill F is what me and the buddies call him.
Billy F.
He is the editor of the movie. He edited the movie together, and I do think that some of the shots they cut off at the right times. They like how it's all put together, how it's all stitched together. The POVs interlaced with like cutting away, just seeing the back of the killer with Annie's in particular. I thought that was effective because like you're leaving the killer's point of view and now you're sitting in that moment. I thought those were pretty well done. So I'm going to say Bill Freda, Fred out the editor.
Billy F.
Billy F.
Boys call him Billy F.
Zach?
I'm going to go with Tom Savini. Tom Savini, who did the effects for the movie. He's a very famous makeup effects person in the horror movie world. He also did Dawn of the Dead is another big one. He had Cole. You would know him as an actor, and he is the guy with the gun in his belt in Dusk Till Dawn. So that's him as an actor. But he does a lot of makeup effects in horror movies for the past several decades.
Oh, the guy with the dick gun.
Yes.
And on that note,
whoa. I think kind of like we kind of said, like, oh, some of the kill scenes are probably the highlights of this movie, but like he helped design the Jason that jumps out at the end, and like I said, we love I think the Pamela beheading looks great. I think Annie's death is pretty disturbing. I watched the uncut version, which adds about 40 seconds. It's mostly the kill scenes, and so it'd linger a little bit longer on these. So like the Kevin Bacon death is a little bit longer with blood just gushing out of this hole in his throat, and then Annie's death is it's tough with that throat slash, and it's like the way it just kind of leaks out there. It's really disturbing, but it does add to it, and that's a point of differentiation from Halloween, because Halloween is not a bloody movie at all. This is a bloody movie. Like the axe to the face, the impact of that to Marcy, that's a tough one. So like I think Tom Savini just kind of packs that punch here with his makeup effects here, especially when we know that they were on a pretty limited budget. Like this movie looks like the way it looks, the camera of it, it looks like The Evil Dead. You can see it's a cheap movie. I like Evil Dead more than this just because of the uniqueness of it, but like this, I think they do pretty well with what they got here, and you can see that on screen. So Tom Savini is my MVP for Friday the 13th.
We had the director, all the actors, and the writer, and we each chose someone from the production team.
I don't think that's bad. I think that's fine.
On to the reviews section.
Says that they insist on outside opinions.
What kind of opinions?
Well, your kind, not to put too fine a point on it. I mean, let's face it, in your particular field, you're the top minds.
Help wanted at Camp Crystal Lake. Horny teens welcome. Warning, death and lack of character development included. 2.25 out of 5.
Die.
Sorry, I'm finishing it up.
So that entire 30-minute break where I was cut off from the call and we were just waiting, you just didn't think to use any of those minutes at all.
Friends was catching up, man.
Do you love early horror movies? Well, get ready to be like that Leo meme, pointing at the screen every single time. Well, not every single time. Most times things happen, but not really understanding why you are doing that so much. 2.75 out of 5.
Okay, bastards. Buckle up. Here's a long one. All right. It's not going to take you long to figure out what I'm doing here. Kevin Bacon's in my bed. There's an axe blade in my head. Blood is all over the room. B-roll of Beaver in the pool. Annie's body's in the car. Brenda's killed out in the yard. Snake is on the barbecue. Is this a hickey or a bruise? Stormed a lot last night under full moonshine. We're screwed. Oh well. It's a blacked out blur, but Crazy Ralph is sure we're doomed? Damn. Friday 13th. Last Friday 13th. Monopoly on tabletops. Bill took some arrow shots. Think Ned died, but I forgot. Last Friday 13th. Steve maxed his credit cards, and he left the diner bar, but he died on the boulevard. Last Friday 13th, where he's put her car in park. Started killing in the dark. Because Jason wasn't oversaw? Last Friday 13th. Yeah, I think she broke the law. Always say she's gonna stop. Whoa. But Friday part 2, do it all again. 3.75 out of 5.
Wow.
Cole, clip that off and make a video. That'll be
yeah. Yeah.
Gold.
It took me a while.
I love that
On to-
your
There was-
use
I
of
couldn't
just
change the
last
Hickey or
Friday
Bruce.
13th. Last Friday
13th.
I had to leave. Is this a hickey or a bruise in there? I was like, I got nothing for this.
That's a good one, though. That's a good
Just
line
left
to keep,
that one in
keep
there.
in there. On to the post-credit scene.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Next up, we will be covering Batman Returns. Going back to Batman, we're doing... Is that correct? That's
Yes,
that's
Batman
next.
Returns would be
I was
next.
gonna say. We're doing Batman Returns. That is streaming on HBO Max, so go check it out. Go check out the first Batman, and then, you know what? Check out Batman Forever. You might as well. It's right there. I'm in the middle of watching it right now.
It's so enjoyable.
I just don't know.
It's an enjoyable film.
I like how goofy Jim Carrey is.
I was about to
And
say,
how
that movie
goofy
might have the
Tommy-
most clear MVP pick. We would be scrambling for the number for whoever gets to pick MVP first if we did Batman Forever.
But Tommy Lee Jones is pretty goofy, too. What are you guys watching? I'll tell you that I have been doing the Pit. The Pit rounds. Yeah, I've been doing the Pit and can't get enough of it. And I started watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I believe it's called. Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Yeah.
I hear good things. I also
I've heard
hear
good
it's
things, too.
pretty funny.
Yeah, you know, it's a decent change of pace from the last 2 Game of Thrones series or shows.
Yeah.
Because I've also heard the book is a lot more lighthearted than the other stuff.
You know what? I'm not going to say that House of the Dragon's not working for them, because I think it is. It's pulling an audience, but I think this is like... It's different enough that it can have a similar audience, but can also establish a different audience.
Season 2, House of the Dragon, really kind of sapped me on it a bit, but I'll probably rewatch that, get back into it before season 3 comes out, and I will absolutely watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I think I'm actually just waiting because they're based off novellas, and there's 3 novellas, and they're short, you know, because it's a novella. So I think I am going to power through the first novella before I watch this, and probably after I, finish it, which I'm almost done. Oh, thank God. I'm finally past page 1000 with it. So it is
You're
so
close to
long.
halfway.
Yeah, it is really good though. It's picking up, but also book related. I'm kind of getting back into it. I don't know if you guys could tell from the movie debate chat and Instagram. I'm very much getting back into Game of Thrones mode because I've been reading the audiobook of the first one, and I'm just like, God, this was so good. This is so good.
I think it's time.
I'm a big fan of the books, and I'm just part of me. I keep telling myself out loud, I know they're not going to get finished, but there's part of me that won't give up that hope. Because how could they not be? What
was it? Friend of the pod and former guest Jake Thompson just said, I can't bring myself to start a series that's never going to finish.
The thing is, if there was only supposed to be 1 book left, I would totally buy, it will
Aren't
come
there
out.
2?
He has been working on Winds of Winter since 2010 or 2012, and there's supposed to be 1 more after this. And he is not the youngest fella. He's not the youngest chicken in the coop,
Because
So it's
Winds of Winter was season 6 and 7, right?
I mean, there was no there was no book for them to go off of with season 6 and 7. Winds of Winter is the one that's supposed to come out. Yeah. So, yeah, that probably led to the downfall, the lack of, source material to really draw from. They probably had bullet points from George R.R. Martin, and then that's started to show the writing, because the show kind of felt like it became bullet points. It became bullet point plotting and not well thought out plotting. Books are great. That's my recommendation. My recommendation is read the books. Because they're really solid.
I'm reading books.
Game of Thrones books.
I went to my local AMC and I saw Send Help, Sam Raimi's Send Help.
Okay.
Dylan O'Brien, Rachel McAdams, I knew she would be great. There were points where I'm watching her in the theater and she's so awkward. I was wearing a beanie like this. I had to cover my eyes because I was getting secondhand embarrassment for this character, which she did amazingly. She was great. But Dylan O'Brien was such an asshole, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they carry them. I mean, I don't say they carry the movie because, of course, they do. They're the 2 actors in the movie, pretty much. It's pretty much a 2-person movie after the first 15 minutes. To that point, the Rachel McAdams of it, I think what I didn't say last time is I think that whole trope of, oh, this really attractive actress that we have, she's not attractive yet because she has glasses on her and her hair isn't combed. That whole like not another teen movie bit. Like, oh, we gotta make her. She'll be attractive later, but right now she's not attractive because this is how she is. I think this is the first time it's actually worked. I like genuinely am like grossed out by Rachel McAdams in the first part of this movie. I'm like, man, she's just ugh. Like from the performance, what she's saying, how they dress her, it is all like, yeah, I get it. She is. It's a tough scene, but that's also like she's really good and she sells that really well. And I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it's a fun dynamic. Yeah, once they get to the island, it's a back and forth that's really fun to watch. So I would highly recommend people see that.
We're not in the office anymore, Bradley.
Okay. Well, until Batman Returns, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and just always keep watching movies. See ya.